Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and in this video I'm going to be listing off my top 5 favorite albums from 1985. So yeah, let's just hop into it, shall we? Number 5, hold on. Number 5 is Seven Churches by Possessed. Now, funny thing about this album, uh, about, a year ago now, I released a video listing off my favorite album from each year of the 1980s, and I had this one as my favorite album of 1985. But since that video, I have discovered a few more albums that from 1985 that I like better than this one. I still like this one. I don't hate it or anything, but it's kind of moved down from my number 1 to my number 5. Um, Another thing is that I did originally complain about. I think in the review and in that video, I did complain about the production. It used to really bug me, but over time, I've kind of just sort of grown accustomed to the production on this, and it doesn't really bother me anymore. Also, another thing I really want to mention. I'm going to mention this every time I have a chance to. People claim, a lot of people actually claim that this is a death metal album. But it actually has more in common with black and thrash than death metal. And the subject matter and the lyrics are more akin to something that of black metal. So really, it's not really a death metal album. It's sort of a black and thrash album, but it's a unique one, and I do really enjoy it. The Exorcist is a great song. I love that it has in the intro a little snippet of the Exorcist theme from the movie. But yeah, that's a great song. Pentagram, another great song. Evil Warriors, another great one. Seven Churches, the title track, also really good. Although I will say my favorite song on here is definitely Twisted Minds. Just really great guitar riff solo, and the vocals are just extra vicious on that one. Overall, used to be my number 1, now it's my number 5, but I still really like it. And actually, I think I like it even more than I did initially. I mean, yeah, that kind of doesn't make that statement probably doesn't make sense considering this is number 5 now and not number 1. But I mean the fact that I used to think this one it was a somewhat good album. Now I think it's actually real. I think it's almost great, an almost great album, kind of teetering on the edge of good to great. But yeah, I have found a couple more albums that I like a little bit better than this one. But yeah, that was my number 5. Number 4. Number 4 is hold on. Okay, yeah, sorry. I forgot that uh I think I swapped the case a while back and I forgot to check to see if the disc was in it. So, just ignore that. Anyway, Hell Awaits by Slayer is my number 4. This one, unlike the other one, the production on this one still kind of bugs me a bit, but not enough to where I don't like this album for what it is. I think it is an extremely overrated album, just like with Raining Blood. Although I think Raining Blood is a little more overrated than this one. There are good songs on here though, songs that I really enjoy. Hell Awaits, Kill Again, At Dawn They Sleep, and Crypts of Eternity and Necrophiliac. All great songs. There's really only one, two. There's only really 2 songs on here that I don't like. But yeah, it's one is Slayer's earlier works. I think early Slayer's a lot better than anything they did probably after South of Heaven. Good album, really good songs for the most part, but the production is kind of, it could have been a little bit better, but I still do enjoy this album. But yeah, that's my number 4. Alright. Number 3, Prayers of Steel by Avenger. This one is one of those this is an album from one of those bands that were like a one and done thing. Like they released this album in '85, and I think they uh broke up in '86 or '7. Um, but this album is almost flawless. Like, yeah, the first two songs aren't that good, but honestly, the rest of the album is amazing. This is a German metal band. They their sound and style pretty much is like old school heavy metal meets old school European power metal. That's pretty much their style of sound. Um, yeah, really great. Great vocals, great instrumentation. Um, I'd say my three favorites off this album are Faster Than Hell, Prayers of Steel, and Rise of the Creature. But yeah, definitely something to check out. This album, this is a re-release, by the way, limited to 666 copies, so it's kind of a rarity nowadays. But if you do find this one on eBay, definitely pick it up. Whether it be a CD or vinyl, it was re-released on both, but the vinyl is definitely it's gonna cost you a little bit less. For some reason, the CD is a little bit more expensive. But yeah, just a really really good old school metal album. Very underrated. But yeah, that's my number 3. All right, number 2, Bonded by Blood by Exodus. This album, I think I said this in my review, but it really surprised me because the very first Exodus album I ever listened to, was Fabulous Disaster, and I think that album is shit. Like, I do not like that album. The production is almost non-existent. The instrumentation is sloppy, so I kind of was put off by that album and really didn't check out a lot of Exodus stuff until later on. But when I listened to this for the first time, it really blew me away. The vocals by Paul Biloff are amazing. The instrumentation by everyone involved is god tier. It's a near perfect album. From a band I've come to really, really like. Um, there's only 2 songs on here that I think aren't that good. Exodus and Piranha, but everything else is great. Um, also, oh no, hold on. There we go. Also, I do prefer this artwork over the original, mainly because I have a problem with the color palette of the original. I don't think that those shades of colors work, like especially with the very bright blue. Like for the sound and style of the album, that color palette, even though the actual artwork itself works, the color palette, especially that background shade of blue, just doesn't fit. But yeah, I love this color palette a lot better. I think it fits the album way better. Maybe not artwork wise because there's basically nothing here, but color palette wise, it works a lot better. The reds and blacks, along with the yellow logo with the blue trim. Um, but yeah, a near flawless album. I'd say my top 3 favorite songs on here are the title track "Bonded by Blood," A Lesson in Violence, and Deliver Us to Evil. But yeah, all in all, one of the best old school thrash metal albums, and one of the best albums of 1985. But yeah, that's my number 2. Number 1. Number 1 is Don't Meddle with Evil by Halloween. Yes, Halloween, not to be confused by the power metal band Helloween. This is probably one of their best albums. They don't have that many bad albums. I'd say maybe just 1 or 2, but everything else in their discography ranges from good to great. This is a perfect album. Everything from the first to 11th song or songs, sorry. First to 11 songs. Everything is great. This does come with 3 bonus tracks, which came from a 1990 demo, so those songs there do sound a little bit heavier. With their first album, their sound kind of resembled sort of old school heavy metal meets glam metal kind of sound. Um, so with the glam metal elements that come in with very kind of cheesy bits here and there, but still really really good. They would go on to be a little bit more, I guess, like more heavy metal later on. Their albums after this would definitely get heavier and heavier. By the time Horror Fire rolled around, their third album, they were very very heavy, probably the heaviest they've ever been. Um, but here, they are more traditional heavy metal, kind of with a glam metal aspect as well. Um, Now this band has been like misclassified by many people that didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I've heard people classify them as glam metal, which I guess due to their look, I kind of understand why. But if they even heard their music, I think they would have changed their minds. But no, people classify them as glam metal. Hell, there are people, really idiotic people out there who classify them as power metal. Power metal. Like, have these idiots even heard their music? Like, especially their later stuff, where they're extremely heavy and definitely not power metal whatsoever. Like, the only song that I could kind of see as a little bit power metal-esque would be Candles from their third album. But yeah, I don't know. There's idiots out there who say this is heavy metal. Not sorry, power metal or glam metal. That's not the case. Hell, there's even this idiot out there who uploaded their entirety of their third album, Horror Fire, and who classified them as glam metal. And even someone like I guess like commented like, no, they're not glam metal, they're heavy metal. And this guy, the guy who uploaded, even acknowledged that, oh yeah, well yeah, I know they're not heavy metal. I'm sorry, I know they're not. Sorry, he said, yeah, I know they're not power metal, but I'm still classifying them as power metal, even though they're not, which is kind of dumb. Sorry, I'm going on a whole tirade of this. I'm so sorry. Anyway, back to this album. This album again is flawless from start to finish, and maybe except for the bonus tracks, which are from the demo from a 1990 demo. There's only one that actually is really good, and that's Vicious Lies. But yeah, again, the main album from start to finish is great. Definitely capture the songs in here. Definitely capture the feel of the holiday of Halloween. Pretty much all their albums, actually, for the most part. But this is definitely their best one. I'd say if I had to pick my top 3 favorite songs on here, they would definitely be "Don't Meddle with Evil," "What a Nice Place," and "She's a Teaser." But yeah, very underrated band. Very underrated album too. But yeah, this is my all-time favorite album from 1985. It's just so good. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.